Hi guys, welcome. Today I want to talk to you about the new Megadeth album. I want to review it. I want to rate it. It's their 16th album. It's called The Sick, the Dead, and the Dying. And a lot of people kind of think that it has to do with the COVID pandemic, but it hasn't. It doesn't, or it isn't. Hasn't, doesn't, isn't. It's he actually wrote it about the Black Plague. I heard him on an interview where he was talking about that, and actually there's a lot of interesting things that has to do with the messaging in the lyrics that we'll go through. But so I want to talk about this album. It just came out today. It's Friday, the 2nd of September, and it just came out. It's the first album in I think 6 years, right? 2016 was Dystopia, and it's the 16th album. And I want to also answer the question, what do you do when someone you don't like or you actually dislike does something great? That's a difficult thing. So the people on this album, that's of course Dave Mustaine. Everybody knows that. I mean, he's Megadeth. Megadeth is him. And then he has Kiko Lorieno as a guitar player. It's the second album that he's on. He was also on the Dystopia album. A great guitarist, actually, really nice. He's got a lot of cool stuff also on YouTube. You should check him out. He's got a channel, and then he has Dirk Verburen. Dirk Verburen. I think he's Dutch. A great drummer, amazing drummer. He got him on board, and then he kicked off Dave. That's where me and Dave Mustaine go separate ways because I wasn't happy with that. So he re-recorded the bass lines of Dave Ellefson with Steve DiGiorgio that has been in, I think, Testament. He was also in Death at some point. And I saw him actually this summer on a concert with Death to All, a Death tribute band. Anyway, so Dave kicked off Dave. That's where my kind of problem went. That was the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, or whatever you call it. So I was always a Megadeth fan. I actually became a Megadeth fan before I became a Metallica fan, and that happened because I just didn't have access to all of the Metallica stuff, but I had cassettes with Megadeth in the farm where I was, and so I was actually more of a Megadeth fan than a Metallica fan. But then I was taught the Metallica versus Dave Mustaine story, and then obviously, you know, hate breeds hate. You know, like they taught me how to not like him. And then I saw him in some kind of monster, and I was like, wow, he's just whining there and stuff like that. I listened to him on Joe Rogan now 2 weeks ago, and it was a little bit like I didn't feel that he gave credit to anyone. You know, Kirk Hammett is an okay guitarist. When Joe was talking about Jimi Hendrix, you know, Dave Mustaine was kind of like, I don't know, you know, like, I don't know. Give credit where credit's due. And so, yeah, and then the whole Dave Ellefson thing, Dave Ellefson had been with Dave Mustaine when probably nobody else wanted to be around him, you know, when Dave Mustaine had issues with drugs and alcohol and whatever. And then Dave Ellefson has virtual sex with a consenting adult, and he gets kicked off the band. I felt that was kind of like, okay, that's it. I've had it with this guy. So I was kind of waiting for this album to come out so that I could go out and bash it, and I also felt that the previous albums, kind of almost since Countdown to Extinction, which was the fifth one, I felt that the stuff had kind of mashed into each other. So I was very skeptic, very pissed off when they re-recorded the bass lines, because I felt that that's kind of like erasing history, and loyalty doesn't matter and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, yeah, I was, wow. And then it's going to be 12 songs, and yeah, it's going to be too long. Heard the 3 singles that came out, and I wasn't very impressed. And so I wasn't expecting a lot. And the shadow of my relationship with Dave Mustaine was kind of looming over this whole thing. Well, then I listened to it, and wow, was I wrong. The album kicks off with a super cool intro riff. It kind of reminds me of Hell's Bells, AC/DC, and that's the title song, "The Sick, the Dead, and the Dying." And then and I thought, okay, yeah, they had a lucky punch. But then the second song, Live in Hell, yeah, "Live in Hell" is the second song. It just keeps going, and then I thought, oh, what the fuck, they're onto something. So I kind of had this Godfather moment, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. And the first 8 songs were super strong and remind me of Countdown to Extinction and Rest in Peace, which actually Rest in Peace he mentions in one of the final songs, Mission to Mars. I think that's the final song. I have the list here somewhere. No, second last song. It's song number 11. He mentions, it's cool. He says, we're all gonna rest in peace on Mars or something like that. It's kind of cool. And then I thought, okay, 8 songs. That's what they can put out because usually albums are like 7, 8 strong songs, and then the rest is often fillers. And but it just kept on going, and the album is really good. And there are 2 tracks that are the there's this 10th song, C'est le Butante. It's some French word that I'm not really great at. It's a great song. Mission to Mars is a really, really cool song. And then the version that I listen to on Spotify is with 2 bonus tracks. That's that Kennedy songs. What's it called? The patrol car, police truck, Yeah, and then a Sammy Hagar song. The Planet's on Fire, Burn in Hell, where actually Sammy Hagar from Van Halen and Sammy Hagar Circle or Chicken Food. He sings with Dave, so it's really really cool. And so yeah, did I tell you guys to hit the like button if you like this? If I did, then I'm sorry. If I didn't, then be my guest. So if I think about it, okay, this album actually turns out to have everything that a Megadeth album should have. It's really strong songwriting. It's actually, yeah, it's for me, it brings back the greatness of this band and Dave Mustaine's skills, which I always felt that his songwriting was really really good. I like his singing actually because I can't imagine this band without any other singer. And I thought it was over for him when he had the cancer, but he's better than ever. He does a lot of cool voiceovers, like talking and kind of like the outro of the first song, The Sick, the Dead, and the Dying. He does a really cool one in Mission to Mars, and he I think he does most of that, if not all of it himself, which is really cool. And yeah, so I kind of feel that it's we go a little bit back. We yeah. It's this album is some sort of a merge of Countdown to Extinction and Rest in Peace. Sound is great. The guy is a perfectionist, and he also had a lot of time to work on this album. I mean, they took a long time to do it. There were a lot of issues, his health issues and stuff like that. Re-recording the bass, no, and so I think time helped with that. It's really good. I also saw that Kiko, the other guitarist, he writes with him a lot of the songs, and I think that's adds a dimension. I think I even saw Dave say that somewhere himself. So yeah, overall, guitar and drums are great. Bass is great, and but I don't think that he ever had weak people playing with him. I always felt that the quality of the musicians in this band has been extremely high, and sometimes at the expense of maybe groove. But now on this album, they somehow get it. And maybe it's that drummer Dirk and the guitar and the bass from Steve DiGiorgio that kind of adds something to it. I mean, Steve DiGiorgio's background is more in kind of death metal and yeah, maybe some old school thrash. So maybe he brings a little bit of that back. I don't know. I think that the songs are stronger than on the previous albums. I didn't feel that there was any weak song on this album. Some of the people that have been talking about this album, it's interesting. The lyrics, I like the lyrics, and for me, these are just typical Dave Mustaine lyrics. They're very kind of dual, or how can you say? You can interpret them in multiple ways. There's no one way to understand them. A lot of people have been criticizing that he doesn't take a political stand, and I don't know. I think that if you need necessarily your favorite rock star or favorite metal guy to confirm your political views somehow, or you need to know where he stands on this or that, then it's not about music anymore. Then it's about something else. And I think that I actually was pissed off at Dave Mustaine for kicking off Dave Ellefson because for me it was a political thing. It was following a political trend of cancel culture, and that pissed me off. But okay, so what do you then do, as I asked in the beginning, when someone that you dislike or disagree with does something great? you fucking love it because it's great and it's music and it's about that. It's not about whatever else. So he got me back. Megadeth are back. The band is back. The album is back. You know, like it's bringing back the greatness of Megadeth. I'm gonna give this album 9.5 out of 10. I think I didn't expect this. They took me by surprise. I actually want to go and listen to it again once I finish with you guys here. I don't feel that the singles represent the quality of the album. Maybe the We'll Be Back single is kind of, when I was listening to that again, I thought, okay, yeah. But the other two, I don't feel that they kind of give a flavor of how great this album actually is. So what I'm trying to say here is that it's probably better than you think if you just listen to those 3 singles. So go and buy it on vinyl, buy it on CD, download it, whatever. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna buy the vinyl of this one. I already downloaded it on Spotify, and I'll go back to seeing them live. I had kind of said goodbye to Dave Mustaine, but I hope he takes me back, and that he wants me back for good. So great album, 9.5. Check it out. 12 super strong songs, 2 extra songs that are also cool and fun. They add a different flavor to the album. I forgive you, Dave Mustaine. Guys, check out some other stuff on our channel. We have some more reviews of concerts and stuff like that. We'll be doing more album reviews, hopefully sooner than later. Thanks for watching. See you guys. Have a nice weekend. Bye.